So this video is specifically about changing the A value. So what you're going to see me do is basically put a number in front of sign. And you need to already know and understand that the A value changes the amplitude, which means it changes, it stretches or compresses the graph. And so basically, let me just give you an example here. Alright, so let's say g of x equals 3 sine x. So basically what's happening is this 3 is going to change the maximum and minimum to be 3 and negative 3. So what happens here is the maximum used to be at 1, but now it's going to be at 3. The minimum used to be at negative 1, now it's going to be at negative 3. Other than that, everything else will stay exactly the same. So this will still be 0, 0. This will still be pi over 2. This will still be pi 0. This is still 3 pi over 2. And this will still be 2 pi over 0. So when you draw it, the only thing that has changed is this maximum has now moved up to 3, and the minimum has moved down to negative 3. So basically this point will be up here now, this point will be down here now, and other than that, the graph is exactly the same. So when we talk about what does A do, it stretches the graph if this value or the absolute value of this is greater than 1. It changes the amplitude or the height of the graph. Okay? Now, maybe for cosine I'll do an example that's a fraction and compresses the graph, but for now I think it's more important that I show you a negative. So let's go ahead and do negative 2 sine of x. Basically, you need to know two things. First of all, you already know it's going to change the max and the min, but you need to be careful because when you have a negative, it also flips over the x-axis. So make sure that you note that it's going to flip over the x-axis. So instead of having a maximum, it's going to have the minimum first. So I know this column says maximum, but really we're now going to have the minimum point at negative 2. And then the maximum will occur here. It's just flipped upside down. So this will become positive 2. Everything else stays exactly the same. Alright, so what does that mean for the graph? Basically it means I'll have a point here at negative 2. Here I'll have a point up at positive 2. All the x-intercepts are still the same. So if you look at it, you can see that the graph has flipped and your highest and lowest points are 2 and negative 2. So if you want to make a note to yourself, basically you can say something like, if A changes, what you're going to have to do in the chart is you're going to have to change the max and min y value. Change the y value of the max and min. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that on cosine, and basically the same story is going to occur here. So let's say I have this time g of x equals 1/2 cosine x. Basically 1/2, so the new max will be 1/2, the new min will be negative 1/2. Alright, so this is going to be 1/2. This will be negative 1/2, and this will be positive 1/2. everything else will stay exactly the same. So 0, okay, so when I go to draw this, anything that used to be at 1 will now be at 1/2. The x-intercepts are still the same. This was at -1, so it'll now be at -1/2. X-intercepts are still the same, and this will be at 1/2. So basically like this. And this is a compression because the a value is between 0 and 1. Okay. Now let's just do another one. Let's go ahead and do a negative. We'll do -5 cosine x. So basically you need to know that it's going to change these to 5s and -5s, but it's also going to be flipping it because of the negative. So basically this used to be +1, it's now going to be -5. This used to be -1, it'll now be +5. This will be -5. All the other stuff stays the same. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is wherever it used to be 1, now it'll be -5. So 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this value will still be the same, then it will go up to 5. This will be the same, and it'll be back down at -5. So this one is definitely stretched. And I know it looks like a parabola, but make sure on the ends that you're actually curving, because that's supposed to be the lowest point. So basically just go back in that direction so it looks like, yeah, that's better. Okay, so that's what you do if they change the a value.